I could have gone longer, but that would have been a bit like for real. I definitely could have gone longer.
What inspired that?
I don't know. I was
Joy?
just like thinking about like, when should I stop? And then I was like,
When should I stop?
I don't have to. I mean, I guess when I run out of air. And then I was like,
Yes.
no, now you're getting annoying, Sarah. You should just quit. So
Wow, that was enthusiasm, and as well you should be experiencing. It is episode 419. We are trucking, and we are alive and healthy. What more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for? And I got to visit with you yesterday.
I loved it.
It was so much fun.
Like, I really miss humans.
Yeah, amazing, huh?
I
Never
re-
thought.
Like, I really do. I really, really do. I'm sure
But
everyone
here's-
does.
I'm like forgetting basic things like how to drive. I'm scared out there.
No.
Like for real. I mean, I'm not terrible, but
Right, you're just not used to it, right?
yeah, I'm not used to it.
It's a weird thing. I always feel like that when I come back from the challenge, too.
Right? Like, oh my God, how do I drive again? And it's I mean, yeah. I just had a harder time parallel parking than usual.
Oh, no.
And then some freaking dudes had to make a comment about it. And I was like, oh, and you know what I said? Can it. Hate them.
Why do they always do that?
Like, what is wrong? What is wrong with them?
They
gotta turn
really
my
love
notifications
explaining.
Yeah, well, and then like, yeah, I hated it. It was a whole big thing. It was when I was going to pick up your weed products for the
My God.
next episode.
Oh, my God. So you have to parallel park to get your product?
Well, I ordered it online. Well, I guess I might as well tell you the story.
Okay.
I ordered it online, and it's like super fast, just like curbside pickup. You go in, you go out. So like, I'm going to be in there for no joke 10 seconds. Like, not even. I've already paid for it. I'm just going,
Grabbing
picking it
it.
up, go. I parallel park. It's a side street. There's nobody really driving by. I back into the spot, and I'm just like a little bit sideways, like a little
Sure,
bit.
yeah.
And I come out of I like grab the stuff, I leave. I come out, and these two idiots, I'll give you two guesses what kind of person this is.
Right, Dumb and Dumber.
You only need one. And they go, oh, wow, she's out already. Like, talking loud enough so, like, they know I can hear them, but they're, like, talking about me. Like,
No.
oh, that was fast. She's out already. And then they go, oh. And then they look at me and they go, oh, you can, yeah, look, it's like you shop better than you park.
Sarah!
And so in that moment, I held up the bag of weed and pointed at the car. And I said, well, I've been doing this a lot more than I've been doing that in the 3 months. So you can can it.
Oh, my God.
And it's true. I've been
me
shopping
ask you this.
a lot more than I've been parallel parking. So freaking shut it.
We're...
And then he goes, ooh, and then the worst part. He goes, good answer. Which then I'm like, oh, my God. How dare you give
assessment
of the quality of my answer? I'm like, I'm
Let me
raging.
ask you this.
Someone take my blood pressure.
Do you think that they were trying to be playful and flirtatious, or were they being derogatory?
No, the first one, but but
You were
more
still
of
mad.
like that. No, it's because it's like a pat on the head. It's like
that's the worst.
infantilizing. That's what it feels like. It feels like, oh, look at this silly little girl who doesn't know how to park. And I just want to be like, oh my God.
You know,
I'll run
maybe
you
it's
over.
the case, too, because of what I just said about how we're all starved for social interaction, that people are almost looking for opportunities to do that.
Oh.
You know?
You know
to,
what?
like,
And maybe
have
that's it. It's like I go outside and it's already an anxious thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's the interaction I get.
Oh, man.
I'm like, oh, come on.
What you won't do for me and my weed.
You're right. You know, see the lengths I go to for you? If that isn't true love, I don't know what is.
Thank you so much. And can't wait to experience that. Maybe we'll
I can't wait
chill
for
out.
you to experience it. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'll look forward to that. For now, we'll stay
Yes.
sober and on track.
That's right. And I'll look forward to watching you on our Patreon.
Right.
That'll be
'cause
super fun.
That's why I said, like, we had to do a Zoom or whatever, because hearing it is going to be great, but I think seeing it will really add another level.
Oh, hell yeah. And I got to talk you through it. And when you said we're doing this sober, that's not all true. Because I'm drinking a Corona right now.
Good for you, Sarah.
I just felt like it.
I am proud of you.
And you know what? I got out of the shower and I had wet hair and I'm drinking a Corona and I'm wearing a little sarong kind of wrap thing or shawl, I don't know, whatevs, that I would wear to the beach. And I feel like I'm on vacation.
Oh my God, that is great.
It's amazing what the mind will do. Just wet hair and holding a Corona and wearing the same thing that I usually wear to the beach and it's sunny outside. My mind is filling in the blanks and I'm like, oh, I do feel like I'm on vacation. So
gosh, that sounds amazing.
Maybe there's something to that. I don't know, but...
I love that. That's a great idea. If people are feeling down in the dumps, they can just simulate.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. That leads me to my first story for the day, which is I saw this great short film on Atlantic about this guy who wanted to get away from it all, except he, instead of going on vacation like a normal person, decided to go into these really desolate... the thick woods of Maine where, there are people around and there are communities, but the forest itself is so dense that even deer can't maneuver. Because it's rocky too, big rocks and stuff, so they can't walk on it. So this guy goes to live in the woods and he had no designs on how long he was going to stay. And he ended up staying for 27 years, and he lived as a hermit and didn't speak to anyone for the entire 27 years, not one word to another human being. Can you even,
we don't know
that?
how many conversations he had with the trees, so, I mean, they didn't
but no
talk
humans.
Back. Also, you sure are reading up a lot on woodsy, outdoorsy gentlemen. You brought us many of these stories lately. I love them all. But is this a new favorite theme?
No, it's a symptom of the pandemic because the content is then...
We're turning towards these people for
Kind of. Although
guidance.
in this case, he is not going to give you any guidance because what he did during those 27 years was break into everybody else's cabins and steal everything.
He's just nuts.
Well, yeah, basically. But not nuts enough that he was kind of a Looney Tune. He was just, I don't know if you'd call it amoral or he just felt like this was...
Well, maybe when you get to that point when you say, I can just see somebody saying, in order to justify their decisions, they almost have to make society look so bad and look at all these people with their goods and their consumer stuff and they're just taking it all from themselves and everybody's so selfish and if they only knew and da-da-da, so I have a right to it and I am teaching them they justify it and can in their mind justify it. I'm sure it's something like that, right?
It must be because, that's what the Unabomber did as well. It was sort of, he retreated to the woods of Montana or whatever, and then he had this worldview develop about, technology. It's a chicken and the egg thing. I'm not saying that caused his philosophy, but anyway, you do kind of have to embrace a narrative where everyone sucks and you are justified in misbehaving. Yes. And so for years and years, this was going on, and people kind of they thought it was a folklore kind of, because it was
like a weird man in the woods.
Yeah, because he was just stealing food, which sometimes you could be like, did we eat that already? Or,
breaking into their house and just stealing food.
Yeah, and he would be real picky about it. He wouldn't take baked goods, and he would take...
watching his weight.
He took Budweiser, but not the Miller Lite. But he wouldn't take Miller Lite, and he did take Budweiser, so he's not watching his weight, clearly.
Lower percentage of alcohol in the Miller Lite.
Yeah, that's true. He'll take the extra calories.
Yeah, he will.
And
cost-benefit analysis.
Right. He would steal batteries because he had a radio, and he did stay up to date on current events. He knew the Kardashians and everything like that.
Oh, my God. That's the funniest thing to know about. To, say, I knew about... I hate that that's the cultural...
That's proof that everyone knows about them.
Yep, that really is. Wow.
But so it was so fun to watch all the townspeople recounting the story. It was almost like there was a Yeti, but it was a real person, and they would refer to him as like the hermit and stuff like that. And then eventually he did get caught, and he just went to jail, and he went for, I think, 5 months or something.
What do you get? What is the arrest for?
That was for theft.
Like squatting on... Oh, theft. Okay, that makes sense. Yes.
But
like, is there anything illegal about living on...
No.
Okay, you're just out in the woods. You can just do that.
Technically, it was private property, but it was so thick that no human was going in there anyway. So maybe he got charged with that too. But crazy. They were saying that hermits, this was actually in an article that I read afterwards, they were saying that hermits are usually in 3 categories: protesters, pilgrims, and pursuers. And he really didn't fit into any of those categories.
Protesters, so people who are... That's the one I was thinking of.
Yes. Yeah, like
that's
anti-society.
Where my mind went. Anti-society. Oh, interesting. Protesters...
Pilgrims.
They are like the bush people of Alaska, Alaskan bush people. Oh, I love that show. Oh my gosh, that crazy family. Woo! The Brown family.
Wow.
They built Browntown, and no, that is not a poo joke.
What the fuck is Browntown?
That's the town, like the family village-y thing. Oh my gosh, Suze.
They shouldn't call it that.
Well, you are correct. That is bad naming. But they're the only ones who live there. So
okay.
The residents seem to not mind. You should definitely look into watching this.
And what's it called?
It's
Alaskan Bush?
I think it's called Alaskan Bushpeople. Oh, this is going to be so good. Can you promise me you'll just watch a couple, like one episode?
What am I in for? What is this all about?
Okay, so it's a family. How do I even summarize this? It's a family that has... It's a dad and mom, and they are kind of white trash. And they... I could say white trash because my best friend is white trash.
Yeah, some of my best friends are white trash. That's hilarious. Right, and it's true.
So they have a family of, I think it's 3 boys and 2 girls, and they all have crazy names like Bird and Raindrop and stuff. It's the best.
Raindrop.
And I think they all, between them all, have maybe 30 teeth.
Oh no!
But it's fascinating, and then sometimes they're super ingenious, and the sons all have very different personalities. I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's one son. Oh my God, what is his name? Oh, I think his name is Bear. They call him, and he is basically he embodies a wolf at all times. And what does he say? He says, "I like to do everything extreme." And I swear to God, that is a perfect impression of him. Anybody who knows the show is she just nailed that.
Oh my God.
You have to watch it, and it's so good. And they've lived out in the bush for so long, out in the wilderness in Alaska for so long. There's some iffy parts of their backstory, which is going to be for some good deep diving into the internet.
Oh my God.
This is an ad for them. They should pay. Discovery Channel should pay me for this.
What?
I am Nate.
How are they pilgrims, though?
Because they're setting off, they to start their own,
colony.
Browntown, their own, they want to live off the land. They want to go back to a more primitive way. And they're very good at what they do. They can build, they are survivalists for sure. Mm-hmm. They're just, the character. You're gonna. That.
Does any part of it appeal to you?
The whole thing.
Oh, you love it.
I love it, Suze. I've watched every single, almost every episode.
Any part of their lifestyle appeal to you.
Okay. I was about the show. What do you think I just spent the last 5 minutes
with all my heart?
With all my heart. No. Yeah, actually, I think, but not long term.
Yeah.
It's almost like I want to go play Lost Boys in the woods. I want to go build, where other people maybe want to go have their vacation homes in Aspen, and I want to go build a cabin.
I see. Yeah.
In that.
Okay.
That would be cool.
Right.
But I can get that in a backpacking trip. But you should definitely watch that, and then I just can't wait. I can't wait for you to enjoy that. I wish I could go back in time and remember.
And rewatch it for the first time.
For the first time, it was great because you'll watch. You'll be like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a scene. Oh God. All right. Well, another scene.
I don't know if I'm hyping it up too much, but
no, it sounds great.
See. Yeah.
Another thing that's great, of course, is The New Yorker. Do you not love The New Yorker?
I love it. And you know what? I love getting their crossword puzzles on online on their app, and it's so easy to use.
Yeah, they have a great app because you can access all their archives, and there's just so much content. Of course, right now, a lot of their content is focused on the virus and the pandemic and the consequences therein. But there's also something for every other interest, whether it's poetry or fiction or cartoons or, as Sarah said, crossword puzzles. They have something. Yeah,
not many of those answers or questions are COVID related.
That's true.
Yeah.
They stick to culture and all that.
Yeah.
And right now, it's a great time to support that industry as well, because it's a tough time to be a journalist in America, and you want to be well informed. So grab this offer because this is a really, really good deal. You can get 12 weeks for $6, and it's regularly $12 plus a limited edition tote bag, home delivery of the print edition each week, unlimited access to NewYorker.com with 10 to 15 exclusive site-only stories every day. Every day! Access to our apps, online archive dating back to 1925, crossword puzzles, and more. Get 12 weeks of The New Yorker for just $6 plus the limited edition tote at NewYorker.com/braincandy. You'll save 50% when you enter code BRAINCANDY at checkout.
You could be like me and read it in the bathtub.
Right? It's a great way to unwind.
Favorite thing.
For sure. Okay. So, any hoodles, that guy was caught and he went to jail, but now I guess he's out somewhere. I don't know what he's doing now. But, I just don't understand. He was there so long that he had, he created a clothesline between the trees and the little clothesline, like a traditional size.
Yeah, not like a clothing brand. Because all of a sudden my mind went there for a second. He created a clothesline, of outdoorsy friendly clothes afterwards.
Oh my God.
No,
what is it?
Line to hang the clothes.
Yeah, is that the right word for it? Clothesline. That's it, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay, absolutely. Okay. But I think that word could also be used for a line of clothing,
Of course.
So that's where, my mind just couldn't decide which one to hold on to for a second there. And I was like, oh, right, that one. Definitely not the other one.
He tied it around this really thick tree, and it was there so long that there was a 2-inch indentation in the trunk of the tree with the clothesline.
Oh my God, where the tree had grown around it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this guy was in deep, and he had Playboys too, though. He had Playboys there. I guess he stole
really
those from
ones?
houses.
Oh God, who's still getting Playboys?
That's a good point. I think based on the people I saw in the video, there were a lot of older people living in the community, so maybe they get it.
Isn't that weird? To think that old people don't really grow out.
Yes.
You probably still have sexual desires older, and it would be hard to change your
format.
The format. So there's old guys who still get magazines and stuff.
Yep, they are.
They like
Good
those
for them.
jugs.
Big naturals.
Big naturals. Was that one of them? I don't know any of them.
I don't know.
But those are hilarious. That would be a funny thing to look at. I'm going to Google that sometime.
Just for
names
funsies.
of nudie mags, just to see, because they're always hilarious, right?
Right. They have to.
Because they have to be clever enough to but not too, because they're going to be, behind the little screen at a 7-Eleven or whatevs.
Do you remember the first time you saw an actual Playboy in life?
Oh, God.
Playboy magazine.
I'm sure it was a vintage one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my parents were in the film industry. So we went to all those people's houses, and it was we had a book called The Nude that was our coffee table book. I'm not kidding. So it was not a big, naked bodies were okay, whatevs.
Wow, that's good.
They were always kind of put on display as art. So,
Ours was the other extreme. We didn't even acknowledge our own naked bodies, let alone someone else's.
And we all walked around naked. Wow, different.
I'll never forget those.
Seeing
I was probably 10. I remember I was at Chuck E. Cheese for a birthday party, and the girl that was having the party had brought one that she had found in her house.
Oh my God! I thought you were going to tell me a story about seeing your siblings naked or seeing your family naked, and I was
I've never seen them naked.
What is happening? I'm halfway through this Corona. Maybe I should have had a bigger breakfast.
Sarah. No, I'm just probably not being clear because I'm nervous about this pot episode we have to do.
Oh, okay. Oh
That's
no,
probably all.
It's probably me.
But anyway, I couldn't believe my eyes. I was just like, holy smokes. And it's a naked woman. It's not like I was into it.
And they brought it to Chuck E. Cheese, a little
She
girl,
did.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, a little girl. How old were you?
I think I was like 10.
Oh, 10. Okay. Well, not like that's any better. So what was her explanation of how she got it? Do you remember that?
She said it's my brother's. I found it in his room or something. And then she thought we would want to see it.
Yeah.
And we did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. That's why, I think we should just, talk about it all the time.
Yeah. Who needs clothes
I mean,
anyway?
not all the time, but we shouldn't make it so taboo to talk about bodies.
No,
Penis,
for sure.
vagina, whatevs. You do it with Link.
Yeah.
You had him look at his own butthole.
That was so fun.
So funny. I can't wait to have a kid and make him do that. That's a silly thing to say. Not make them. Teach them lovingly about their bodies. Come on now. You know what I mean.
Did you see the Netflix documentary Secret Love yet?
Oh, I keep seeing the previews for it, but no, not yet. You know why? Because Ren and I are always watching television together.
Yeah.
And I know that's just going to be a, lovey-dovey cry fest for me. And
Aww. Yeah, it is. It is very sweet film. It's about a lesbian couple who has been together for, 70 years or something. And one of them played on the League of Their Own baseball team.
What, like the real one?
The real one.
Oh, my God, I love that.
I do too.
Really playing up the stereotype. But
For sure. I thought that to myself. I thought, I wonder if anyone on that team was straight.
It's just I guess that's what's...
Right?
They also played water polo, let me say that.
Who, lesbians or...
Yeah.
What? Oh,
Lesbians.
really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I mean...
Is it just sports in general?
No, I don't know. That's a good question, though. It's definitely not cheerleading. Well, maybe. You'd think it would be, though. I mean, that's really...
That's where the action's at.
That's where the action's at. You get some, oh, gosh, that's so inappropriate. Okay. Do not take any of this out of context. Okay, back to the story.
I love the film, and I would recommend you guys see it because it's a beautiful love story, but it highlights the difficulties of being a gay couple even today. And these broads have been together for 70 years, and it's still an issue.
Did they do anything? Are they legally married or legally?
They got married in the film.
Oh,
So
older,
just recently,
yes?
yeah.
Oh my goodness! So that means they really probably had some struggles.
Well, it's weird because they were together all this time, but they only came out of the closet a few years ago. You know how that was.
I think my grandma was lesbian.
What?
Yeah, I think Grandma Eleanor was.
Why?
Yeah, my mom has said that to me too. That I don't know. She was always. She's either the biggest gay activist, and ally that ever was.
Yeah.
All of her friends were gay.
Okay.
I mean, all of your friends are gay. I guess that's
That is so true. I mean,
it's me and gay and everybody else who's gay.
Honest
That's
to God.
true.
As soon
I
as
guess
you said
that's
that,
a terrible
I was like,
thing for
wait a
me.
minute.
But I
Am
do
I
think
gay?
that maybe, and then I've seen just some I don't know. I think there was a chance that is, and the way she would say it, she would talk to me about how it's okay to be gay.
Why wouldn't she
just
tell
kinda
herself
got that
that, though,
vibe.
if she had it?
I don't know. Maybe
Personal
just
connection.
I don't know. Who knows? I feel like
Maybe.
she was,
We'll never know. But if
We'll
she was,
never
that's
know.
really sad that she wasn't able to live
but
that way.
she would talk to me about how a lot of her teacher friends were.
Oh,
Because that's was the job. You couldn't get married, and so you became a teacher, and because teachers back in the day couldn't get married.
there was only what?
That's what she would tell me. I don't know if this is true or this is just the story I was told growing up.
There is no way that's true. I've never heard that.
That teachers.
Oh my God, this
had
is
to
classic
be.
brain candy.
Oh, it even comes right up. Teachers had to be unmarried.
Why?
Until the Sex Disqualification Removal Act was passed in 1919. Well, it wasn't 1919. That was when she was married. But when she was born. But no married women were allowed to work as teachers. The act should, in theory, have meant greater equality for women entering the profession. But in the 1920s, working women were frowned upon as there were so many men on the dole. That's what it just says.
This is really a weird story you're telling me. Why the hell did they do that?
It says persecution. There's a whole bunch of stuff on it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, rules for teachers in 1872 into 1919.
So in the early days of this country, a lot of the teachers are going to be leses then, yeah?
Wow, this is the rules for teachers, and there's actually oh my gosh, it's like a sign. Do you want to hear what it says?
Yeah.
Teachers each day will fill lamps, clean chimneys. Each teacher will bring a bucket of water and scuttle of coal for the day's session. Make your pens carefully. You may whittle nibs to the individual taste of the pupils. Men teachers may take one evening each week for courting purposes, or 2 evenings a week if they go to church regularly.
Oh.
After 10 hours in school, the teachers may spend the remaining time reading the Bible or other good books. Women teachers who marry or engage in unseemly conduct will be dismissed.
Oh, my God.
And then so on and so forth.
Teachers have been getting the raw deal since the beginning of time.
Dude, why? What is the deal with that? There's got to be some history to this that we don't know about.
Well, just puritanicalism, I'm sure, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow,
I don't know how we went down this
so
rabbit
much
hole.
Today.
So you have taught me so much.
I've taught nothing, but I think that's really interesting, and I have for sure had absolutely no idea about that.
That was just what my and I think maybe maybe that went on for longer, even though the act passed.
Yes,
that was still kind of
like
the thing that
customary.
they did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my grandma was like, 99 when she died. She was born like a little bit before that.
Wow, that
and
is
so
really
yeah,
strange.
that would have been like her upbringing, like unwed.
That's the
which
thing.
we're all like, of course.
A lot
lesbians.
of these things, even if the legislation is reversed, the consequences linger for a really long time. Yeah. And I think these ladies were evidence of that. I mean, they were still kind of expected to be closeted and pretend like they called each other cousin, like on the phone. They'll be like, oh, I'm her cousin. And like to their family, they were like, we're just really good friends and we just want to live together all these years.
Did the family know?
No.
Okay, see, that's what I'm telling you. I think they lived together all this time, and the family still didn't know because they just called each other's friends or something.
Yeah, they accepted that as true. I think it's easier to pull off for women. I mean,
for sure, especially after a certain age, because I see like elderly women together, and like all the husbands have died.
Me and you.
So yes, this is going to be our future.
So long, Ren and Adam. Right. Nice knowing you.
I told Ren that I'm so glad he's younger than me because, like, how it works out with statistics, and we're just going to be like together,
even
like
things out.
It's going to be perfectly even. It's great.
Well, funnily enough, I had another story that I wanted to talk about today, which was about a teacher that was in Ohio and had worked for 23 years for a Catholic school and just got fired for being gay.
Oh my God! Again.
Yeah, right? This is still going on.
Tell me.
Well, he has a husband, and they decided to not renew his contract. So he's currently working and is expected to finish out the school year, but then after that he will be not renewed because he was gay. There was like a petition by some of the parents. Sick, right?
Yeah, because so what's their argument? I'm curious because I feel like this is a hypocritical argument. Obviously,
they say that homosexuality is a quote defect, and that participating in it, like acting upon your impulse, is a sin, and so they ought to be fired.
So, like with that logic, you should be fired for sins.
You would think, but they would argue, and they do argue, that that is a, quote, lifestyle. It is not just like a sin like telling a lie, that you're participating.
You've chosen to.
Yeah, it's about your identity, how you identify as a person.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Right? And they're allowed to do it.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't say that.
I know. That's like a big interpretation. That's like, I didn't know that that's the argument. It's kind of sad I didn't know that.
Yeah, because that's what they say in a lot of Christian churches and denominations. It's not just a simple sin. It's more than that.
Oh.
So that's a bummer. I hope people petition and try to get him his job back, although I wouldn't want to work there anymore if I were him.
Yeah. And don't you think another school would be like, welcome him with open arms?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I don't think it would soften the blow very much, though.
Yeah.
When you're fired for being yourself and for being in love.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, that is... I mean, it's bonkers.
Right. Well, I know we were talking about the woman who shared the picture of her and her wife dressed up as Dory and Nemo, and she got fired.
Yeah.
She won the Teacher of the Year award twice.
Right.
Like, what the hell?
Right?
I don't know, Suze.
That's the thing. I almost wasn't going to bring it up, but it just happened naturally, so I did. But because I was just like, I don't like these stories because...
And you wonder why people just stay in the closet. I mean, like, they shouldn't at all. The most important thing to do is live, true to your identity. And who care? Well, I mean, it's so hard to really do this, but you got to, like, listen to the words of the people who love and appreciate you and just, like, learn to brush off the words of those who are ignorant. It's so hard, especially when it's like your own family or, But we make our own family, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. Being a person is hard, and I have been encouraging our listeners, as has Sarah, to utilize BetterHelp.
This is the time.
It is the time. BetterHelp is
always the time.
It's a great service because you can get mental health help, therapy with licensed professionals that are designed, that you can pick ones that specialize in whatever you need help with. And I think right now, almost everybody could use a little help in that area because life is bonkers.
For sure.
It's so convenient. You can do it on your phone, your tablet, your computer, and it's professional counseling. You can send a message to your counselor at any time to help you with depression or anxiety or family issues. I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with that. Trouble sleeping. Everything you share is confidential. And it's affordable. There's tons of testimonials on the site, but I also have used it and really like it. Found it really convenient. I could respond and write at my own time. And we want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener, you get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/braincandy. Join over 800,000 people taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's betterhelp, HELP.com/braincandy. Give that a try.
I love it.
I love it too.
It's so important.
Okay, let's move on. Okay. Did you ever know that they had done a bunch of experiments and found that people that are in isolation and longing to socialize are more likely than usual to perceive human-like traits in inanimate objects?
Oh, 100% for sure. I can totally see this.
Why?
Because you're craving that human connect. I would call it, if I had to nickname it, the Wilson effect. Which would be the best name for it ever. And if they would like to, if they would like to rename that, go ahead. You don't even have you have to give me credit.
Permission.
You have my permission to use that because that is adorable. So yes, I would think it's like that because we long for human connection. I think we long for like things that make us feel like human and connected and needed. I think that's like, I can't get over what you were talking about with the plants and how people are planting more and like more like windows and how true that is and how, much more I'm doing that, how I see other, like we need to grow something. We need to talk to something. I think back when I was on The Real World, and I totally would have those moments because you're like so disconnected. I feel like I would start to even. This is like a weird thing. I don't know. People are going to be like, she's crazy. But when I wake up in the morning and like I have like a tile floor, and sometimes the grain of the tile or the grain of the wood, or even no matter what I look like or what I look at, I'll start to be able to like see a face in it. And it's always like first thing in the morning when I just wake up. And I don't know if that has anything to do with being connected to people or not, but I totally see this.
And that's what they were saying, is that people start looking at things and anthropomorphizing them. And they even think like the fridge, when it makes a noise, it's clearing its throat.
Oh
and
my
stuff
God,
like
that's
that.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't even believe it. Yes, we got a new floor vacuum, one of those robot floor vacuums.
Yeah.
Not a Roomba, but Ren and I have named it. We refer to it by its name.
Oh my God.
We like talk about it like it's an actual thing, like person. And we always say when Bo is in the way, I'm like, Bo, move out of the way for your brother.
Oh my God, you are doing this.
I totally forgot about the best example. Because here I am remembering the plant on The Real World that I named Jolene and I would like sing to. And like, because I was like lonely and desperate.
Yeah.
And in need of like, connection with something, I don't know, that like loved me unconditionally. So it was a plant. And so now we've totally anthropomorphized our little Roomba, and it is great.
Isn't it fascinating to see like what the human mind will do to survive?
Yeah,
like our
it really
brains
is.
will adapt and be like, okay, there are no people, we'll find some.
Oh my God, that is yes, the Wilson effect. It's totally that.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's so cool when you bring these stories in here and we talk about this stuff and kind of unpack it, because I can really see ways that these things are all playing out, and as I'm sure everybody else can in my own life, and it just brings this added level of awareness that then, I don't know, gives you a little bit of compassion, a little bit of, doesn't it?
Yeah, for yourself and other people.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I know why I do that. When we have an understanding of our behavior, I think that makes us feel so in control, don't you?
Yes, I do. And that's why I have always gravitated to the articles like that, because you might not even know you're doing it. Like, you didn't think about the vacuum thing. It was just...
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Not at all. But then it makes... we have totally made this little guy a new member of our house.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, now we have an explanation. So if you got, maybe Dahlia can ask our listeners if they notice themselves having done that during this time, because they might not have even realized that too. Even like I keep seeing on Instagram, people putting those like cute craft eyeballs on their fruit and stuff.
I love those. I love that. I was doing that a long time ago.
You were.
So what was going on in my life?
You were, and you were the only person I knew that did it, and now I keep seeing it, and I think that might be a part of this. Come to think of it.
And you know what? I lived alone, and I had just moved to a new city, and I was like, so it makes sense that I was putting googly eyes. I needed friends, and I was like, the fruit are my friends.
Oh, that's adorable. Okay, so let's see. Oh, I was reading this article in the New Yorker, actually, about how I find it really fascinating, the artificial intelligence process, and how, we're sort of at the beginning of all of that.
Oh, it's so creepy.
Yeah, there's like unintended consequences and challenges.
Them accidentally learning a new language.
Right, and becoming like sentient on their own.
Yeah.
They were talking about how there are certain things that they just can't seem to figure out how to teach AI or robots or whatever.
Cool.
It was really fun to learn.
Oh, this is cool. This is that question of like what makes us human.
What makes us human, right.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Before you even say that, because like, how we always talk about how we've studied the things that are like the different stuff to to learn about the stuff that's like the normal, like we study the brains where there's abnormal stuff. So this is a situation where it's like we study the non-humans to learn about the humans. Whoa.
Yeah, like the computers.
And we haven't even done the Stony episode yet. Jeez, should have saved this one.
You're so right. We would be like, man, this is so cool.
Right. Gosh.
But it is cool because essentially all the stuff that you learn from the day you're born until you maybe you're 2 or 3 where you kind of become a person, all of that stuff is the hard stuff to teach a computer because that's sort of like, here's what it means to be a person. Like they were giving the example of when you go to a restaurant. To us, we don't need to talk about what goes on there because we all know because we were introduced to it so early. And so if you say to, a computer, Sarah went to a restaurant, she ordered steak, she paid the bill, just sort of the basics. The computer might know, like if you say, what did Sarah eat? It might know the answer is a steak, but we never actually said that. We said you ordered a steak. And so you have to kind of teach a computer that ordering it implies also that you then ate it. However, even if the computer knows that, maybe you didn't eat it because as a person, there are a million things that could have happened. Maybe
it was
fell
bad.
on the floor.
Somebody dropped it. Yes.
Yeah. And so teaching a machine all the possibilities of behavior is almost impossible.
This is good to know.
I know. It was really interesting to know that.
So really it's like our ability, that kind of, like our ability to, well, no, they can predict future events, but it's like drawing upon, making conclusions.
Well, because let's say you said, Sarah is at a restaurant, and then you ask computer, what is Sarah doing? They might say that you're going to eat, but what if you're a server?
Right.
Or what if you're the cook?
Right.
And so that's just one example is the restaurant thing. But like, that's true of every part of our lives.
So like the answer is what makes us human is just being a human, like the human experience.
Yeah.
And watching humans.
Undefinable.
Yeah.
And if you say, one of the scientists had a thing where they put in so-and-so dropped matches on a log in a fireplace, which would start a blank. And the computer didn't know. It filled in the word ick. Like it didn't know.
That's not a thing.
To us, it's obvious. Oh, they were going to start a fire. But it wasn't obvious to the computer. So it's hard to be linguistic mimics and create these neural networks that tell you every possibility. I don't know. And then you think, I can't believe they've gotten this far with it, to be honest.
Right, because that seems pretty basic.
Right.
It almost seems like you would have... Oh, gosh. Wow. That one might keep me up at night.
Why?
I don't know, because I would just be like thinking about how you would be able, like... Yeah. How you would go about teaching that to somebody who had no concept, like...
Right.
Then you think about... Oh, it gets weird. Yeah, it gets...
Well, and I never said to Lincoln, here's what we do at a restaurant. You just live it and learn.
Right. So, like, that's what it's like. The robot has to go through the human experience in order to know. In which case, what? It's just like it can't be a human without being a human. You know.
If somebody offered you the possibility of getting a clone, would you do it?
No way. First of all, the world does not need 2 of these. We would definitely end up like killing each other. Would you be tempted? To clone myself?
Yes.
No, I have no desire to do. Oh my God, I have no desire to do that.
I wonder if most people do.
No. That's a real no. I don't mean no. Like no, most people don't. But that's like a really, really, really good question. I was asking myself again in my mind, and I still like doubled down. Like no,
you're like absolutely.
I would not. And then I wonder why that is such an easy answer. Mm-hmm. Is that narcissistic to not want another me, or is it narcissistic to want another you?
That's a good question. Yeah, because what's the motivation?
Yeah, like I don't want another me because I want all the credit for all the things I do.
Oh my God.
I don't want to share the spotlight. That sounds narcissistic. But then
That's
like
why
thinking
you don't
I'm
want
so
one?
well, because like what if I think like what if people like her more?
Yeah. And they would, because she'd be the new one.
Thanks, Suze. Hey.
Everybody wants the new one. That's how it goes.
Right. This is why I don't want to do this.
I would want to do it.
That's a nightmare. And see, what you would do is you like teach her everything that you know,
I
and
could
then
be
you
more
make her like do
productive.
yes, yep, and like you'd get to you'd do the right thing with
Because
her.
I even remember watching Dr. Phil years ago, and whenever he would have a couple on, you know, and they would be bickering and fighting about their lives, and he would look at one of them and say, like, you know, your partner is not just like you. Would
Yes.
you really want your partner to be just like you? I would. I would love that.
Oh,
I guess
don't
most
think I
people would not. What?
I wouldn't
You're
want
a
my partner.
delight, Sarah. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but like we wouldn't get anything done. We would like we wouldn't ever decide where we're going to eat, and like it would be, yeah. I don't know.
Okay,
Ooh,
wait, you
this
just
is a good
reminded
one
me
to
of-
think about.
Yeah, I don't know why you just reminded me of this, but you did. I have a question that I saw on Twitter that I thought you would have an answer for, which is, if you're playing Fuck, Marry, Kill, is it implied that you are allowed to have sex with your partner, your husband? Like whoever
Yeah,
you
but
marry.
you have to have sex with them forever.
Yeah, like married sex.
Yeah, married
Yeah.
sex, not like
Okay.
fun. I mean, like you know,
Well, this is
Marriage
not
is
clear
smooth and
to a lot
exciting.
of people.
what do they think? You just don't fuck your partner that you're
Yeah,
married
because
to?
they think, why would there be a fuck option and a marry and fuck option?
You know who says that? Unmarried people who have never been married.
Why?
Because they don't know.
They don't know that it's like a totally different kind of
They're
sex.
still romanticizing what that is like. They are like, oh yes, that's that's the 20 years together
Yeah, I agree with you.
before the kids, get home from school or whatever you do, sex.
Yeah, you can bang. It's just married banging,
Yeah,
which is
Different.
different.
right.
glad
And
we
if you ask
settled
me, but like, you get, to me, married is the win, the good one.
Me too.
And like the fuck is like, I see that come with all the bad stuff of like, this is somebody who you just want to bang and you wouldn't want to go to breakfast with the next morning.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
you want to kick her out of bed. And to me, that seems like the worst one. Yeah, it means you're like the hot chick who's DTF, but I always get married. Like as people always say that, like that's when they choose for me. Nobody ever choose fuck for me. They're always like, oh, Sarah, this person. Oh, I
That's
guess
just 'cause
marry
you're
or
nice,
kill.
though.
You're right. So
Yeah.
that's that. So that's what I thought. I look at it as a compliment. Thank you.
Well,
Man, I
who-
haven't played that game in a minute.
Yeah, who would be an example of maybe someone famous that you would put in the fuck category? That like,
Oh my God, so many. Almost all of them.
oh really?
They're the ones with the hot bods who like
Yeah.
are kind of dumb.
I admittedly sometimes would put like a real conservative person in that category.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Because like I don't respect them or
Yeah.
like them,
And
but-
like do like a power thing, like peg them or something.
right.
If you're gonna fuck them, fuck them.
Yeah, we can accommodate the disdain while
Yes.
still getting it on.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
I'm glad
You know,
we
I
worked
just think
through that.
Ren's in the other room and he only hears one side of this
Oh my
conversation.
God.
And this has got to sound freaking weird.
Right when I was talking about that, Adam came in this room to get something, and I was like, "Oh God, this
Oh my God, the things we do.
right."
It's how we pay the bills, honeys.
Yes, and it's important. It's an interesting conversation to have.
Oh my gosh. But the one-sided side of it is hilarious to me.
I
Yes.
agree with you though about the F, Marry, Kill
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like the same as like the one night stand kind of thing. You're like, ugh, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to
talk-
talk
like-
to you.
I don't want to talk to you. Right. You're like, or you like don't want to like I don't want to say don't want to admit it, but like, yeah, like the Republic, you're like, ugh, I can't believe
know. There are a lot of
know.
those. I can't think of one now, but I'll think, wow, he's attractive, but so terrible. Okay. Let's see. Do you actually keeping with our LGBT theme from earlier?
Yes.
I just read a cool article about how something I never thought of. I mean, a lot of us are wanting to get our roots done or get our hair cut. I mean, this is like a constant thing people struggling with.
Speaking of which, your husband did the best job ever on his.
Yes, I know.
He's talented.
He's talented. I mean, I had to come in at the end to do the hard parts.
Oh, okay. Well, he didn't give you any credit.
Really, Sarah?
Oh, did I just start something?
You did.
Hey.
All right, I'm going to mention that.
I was like,
fair,
oh my God, you got a haircut? And he goes, yeah, I did it. And I was like, oh my God.
I mean, he did. I just came in at the very end to get the cowlick.
Yes.
Anyway.
Oh.
Yeah, that's tricky. So hair, though, is so important and has to do so much with everyone's identity, for everyone. But it's especially true in the LGBT community, particularly with what this article calls butch lesbians and transgender folks for whom, a haircut is an important signal to people about what you're all about.
Yeah.
And so
it kind of helps you maybe project or kind of send the message of, like, it helps you align with the gender that maybe you align with more.
Yes. And it can feel scary and disorienting when your hair starts to morph into something that you don't feel represents you. So they started all these Insta accounts with like styling ideas to like a lot of the pictures are male actors or even you remember Aileen Wuornos, the serial killer in Monster?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like she's considered.
Remember the picture that I have of that totally looks like her?
Oh my God, yes.
My hair looked just like her. Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with this style, sis.
Yes, you are. You lived it. Okay.
I lived this.
So I forget the name for it, but they have a name for the type of butch les who has long hair. And she's like their patron saint.
Oh. It's if I had to name them, since I'm naming things today, I would call it like the mullet mamas, or like she's like a mullet mom.
That's a great name for it. I wonder if they would like that name. We'll have to ask them.
Maybe, but I don't want to imply that they're old. Maybe they're youthful. So like mullet Marys or something. But Mary's kind of like a guy thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, right.
I'll have to work on this.
Yeah. Think it over. But I just think it's
mullet Mo's. Mo.
Ooh,
now there we go.
Now that I love.
Yes. And homosexual. Oh my God, this works.
Yeah,
Run
beautiful.
with it.
Mullet Mo's. Okay, let me write that down.
I have no right to name anything in the LGBT community, by the way. But, I figure since I'm naming, what is it? Like neurological phenomenons that happen, might as well.
Yeah, and
just
I bet
qualified,
you
I guess.
they would probably like this name too, so.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I just love learning about stuff like that because it's something I would never have thought about. I certainly wouldn't be concerned about it. And so reading it, I was like, wow, that's a really good point. Because I'm worked up about my roots and they're not even at all about my identity or signaling anything.
And if you have a short haircut, like that needs regular upkeep. And it really is. It is awful when it grows out. And then, the other reminders come, like a period. So you have that, because I know how it feels when like that happens and you have it's time to get your hair done and like, who knows what else? It all lines up and it's like the perfect storm. So like imagine that feeling where you like your haircut is what makes you feel,
yourself.
Yeah. And then you like get a reminder of, maybe something else, and that, I don't know. That would be sucky.
Yeah, so we support you, butch leses, and we hope you get a great hair situation going on.
Yeah.
Also,
you mullet mows.
Yes, we love you and your mows and your mullets. And people join our Patreon, patreon.com/braincandy. It helps support the show. And we have such great interviews and Q&As on there I think you'll love. And leave us
videos of our 420 episode.
Wow. You will not be disappointed. It hasn't even happened yet, and I know that I can promise that.
Yes.
So people will love it. And next time you hear from us, we'll both be high as kites.
Yay!
So we'll see you then.
Okay.
Bye.